and welcome to Life with Jane. Me and my little dog on the settee having a natter with you on a Monday, which is my plan for the week and what's happening and what we're doing. So, what's the topic this week that we're going to talk about? Well, I thought we would talk about shopping. I've done a few videos of shopping hauls and yellow stickers and just general shopping, and I shop at two supermarkets. So I shop at Lidl, and sorry, it's really windy outside, so we're looking at the wind blowing about. So I shop at Lidl, which is a good value supermarket, shall we say. It's won awards and things for being the cheapest but with good British products, which is good, and Sainsbury's. And I was discussing this with somebody recently and saying, why do we shop at different shops? Now, I live one side of the town, and the lady who I was talking to, in fact, who is one of my subscribers and who is a local lady, Anne, was saying she lives the opposite side of the town. So she tends to go to Waitrose and won't very often go to Lidl because it's the other side of town. And she'll do a shop at the big Sainsbury's when you're out in the car because you have to sort of drive that far to get to it. So I was saying that I go to the Lidl because I happen to pass it every day of the week when I'm walking into town. And I walk into town 3, 4, 5 times, sometimes a week, because I'm only 10 minutes from the centre of my town. So, and I'm near a beautiful park as well. So I'm very lucky. I have the best of both worlds. So if I'm out in my car, I will go to the big Sainsbury's. If I am walking, I will go to the Lidl, because that's walking distance. And if I'm wanting just a quick something, I will go to the little Sainsbury's, because again, that's in the centre of the town and I walk to it and walk past it most days. So on thinking of that, it was, what about shopping and what do we do? So when you go shopping, do you always stick to a budget? Do you always write a shopping list and stick to that shopping list? Do you always go on the same day of the week? So do I write a shopping list? Very rarely. I will write a shopping list if there is something that I've run out of and I think, oh, I need to get some of that, and I know I'm likely to forget it because it's something that I don't always get. So I don't write a shopping list for, bread and milk and eggs and butter and all of those sorts of things, because I tend to buy them regularly anyway. I will write a shopping list for, so recently I bought some yeast. And again, I don't buy yeast very often, so I thought, okay, fine, I need to write that on a piece of paper. So I will maybe write 2 or 3 things. I don't write a complete list. I know that some people will write a complete list and will, go on, lie down. Some people will write a complete list and will stick to that list. Now, if you're on a budget, is it better to write a list and stick to the list so you've budgeted exactly how much you're going to spend? Or is it better to go and see what's on offer, what might have a yellow sticker on it? Yellow stickers over here mean that they've been reduced. It means the shelf life is pretty short. 9 times out of 10, those products can be frozen. And so you can sometimes pick up something that is quite well reduced and put it in the freezer, or break it down into several portions to put in the freezer, and you've got meals in the freezer. So would you plan for that? No, because you don't know what's going to be on yellow sticker. If you go, do you go shopping on the same day of the week? I know some people will go shopping on, for example, a Friday so that they've got food in for the weekend. I know if people are working full time, they tend to go shopping once a week on a specific day. I don't. I go shopping as and when. So I will go and buy, as you know, quite a few vegetables and things, because I'm not completely vegetarian, but I don't eat a lot of meat. I eat some chicken, and occasionally I'll eat the odd bit of bacon or something like that. But I don't eat a lot of meat. So I will buy, as I say, a whole stack of vegetables, and then that will last me for a week, sometimes 2 weeks, and I will do different dishes with that. So it means that I don't need to buy any more, and I don't need to go. Sometimes I won't go shopping for 5 or 6 days. Sometimes I won't go shopping for a fortnight. Sometimes I should go shopping 2 or 3 times. But I'm on my own, so I don't do a large bulk buy. I will buy little bits and pieces as they are on offer. So yellow stickering. I tend to go to the large Sainsbury's supermarket on a Sunday at about 3 o'clock, and I will only do that if I'm out visiting family, because I quite often go out and visit family and have Sunday lunch with them, or just go down round for a cup of tea and a cake in the afternoon. And I will normally plan that so that on my way back it's around about 3 o'clock, and I pop into the large Sainsbury's, and then I can look and see what they've done as their final reductions. So they will reduce things by 50% earlier on in the day, and then with the last hour before the shop shuts, sometimes it's 40 minutes, sometimes it's an hour and a quarter, depending who's doing it, they will make the final reductions. And those final reductions will go down to pence. So 60, 70, 80% off. You saw one that I did last week. I've got one coming up which I'm going to put up on Wednesday with some other bits and bobs. But again, it's worth doing that if you can. If you know roughly when your shop's shut, if you're somebody who's out late in the evening, so again, some of the supermarkets will close at 9, 10, 11 o'clock or whatever. Again, go as late as you can, about an hour before they close, 40 minutes before they close, and they will do their final reductions. And that's when you tend to get the great prices. Now, I know with Lidl, they do veg boxes. I've never managed to get a veg box at my Lidl. I don't know when they do them. I haven't actually seen anybody to ask. I must ask next time I'm in. But I don't think that they do them very often in my local one. I know in other areas they do them quite often, and you can get a whole box full of veg which is past its best, but is still good enough to be able to do things with. And it's reduced to, I think it's £1 or a couple of pounds for a big box. So that's worth looking at. I will tend to, when I shop, I will buy what's on offer. So I am quite flexible with my cooking because I cook most of my things from scratch. So I don't mind if 1 week there's something which is on offer and I go and think, oh, I'll get that. And another week, if it's not on offer, I go, I'm not going to cook that this week. So I will buy things and, as I say, break them down into portions. So for example, if there is, I quite like buying, they do some fish, and you get 2 portions of fish, and they're quite large portions of fish, in a light crumb. So rather than keeping them in the package, I take them out of the package, put them into separate bags, write on the bags what they are, put them in the freezer. So I've then got 2 meals from the one package, as it were, because there's only me. So I can do that quite easily. And again, if I've made things, as you know, if and when I bake my cakes, I will always cut them in either half or quarters depending on the size of them, and I will have one out which I eat over a few days, and I put the other in the freezer. It also gives you the variety. I think sometimes even if you're on quite a tight budget, as we were talking about last week, a little of what you fancy does you good. If you're on a very tight budget, then that's absolutely fine, but try and be a little bit flexible in some of the things that you buy. So if it's a matter of I've only got X amount to spend this week, then have a look and see. As I've said, you can do quite a lot online. I don't ever buy online, but I quite often do some research to see if there is a special offer on at Sainsbury's. And before I go into Lidl, and I go, oh, actually, this costs less at Sainsbury's on offer than it does at Lidl on their discounted price. So, you know, do a little bit of shopping like that. That can help. I know it is, I was again talking to one of my subscribers, Tanya, who comes from California, who was turning around and talking about how expensive certain things were. And the price of some of the food over there was absolutely astronomical, just ridiculous. So I sometimes sort of go like, oh, that's a bit expensive. But to be quite honest, I think wherever you are in the world at the moment, food prices are going up and up and up. And we are in what they call, in inverted commas, a cost of living crisis. I'm very lucky. I don't have to be overly frugal. I was brought up by a mother who was a post-war baby, and well, she actually lived through the war. She was a nurse in the war. She was only a teenager when she joined up, but she was always waste not, want not. You never wasted anything. If there was any little scrap of anything over, you turned it into something. And being brought up with a mother like that, I've always had that philosophy that you don't waste food. You know, if you've got something in the fridge and it's getting close to its sell by date, or it's looking a little bit past its best, get it out, use it, make sure you put it in a dish, and then, you know, you're not going to waste it. I hate waste. It's unnecessary, and we don't need it. You know, even when I'm peeling vegetables, I have the most extraordinary little dog, as you know, but she absolutely adores the ends. I don't give her the tops, but the ends of the carrots. So she'll eat, when I'm peeling the carrot, she'll eat the carrots. Absolutely loves them. Loves sprouts. You know, so the peelings and bits off the sprouts and things, she loves those. Raw as they are, she's delicious. You know, she thinks anything that's vegetable, even when I start chopping onions and things, she's there sitting, she's like, oh, she's chopping something. And I'm like, you don't like onions, you don't like mushrooms, but vegetables, so all of my vegetables, or most of my vegetables, the root vegetables and things like that, she's quite happy to have a piece out of it. The heart of the cabbage, you know, the sort of stalky bit on a white cabbage that is a bit sort of hard, and I don't always put that in, but I will pare that down a bit and she'll have that and go off and munch it and chew it. So when I say nothing goes to waste, nothing goes to waste, which is really rather good. So let's get on to what we're doing this week. So this week, talking about the war, the recipe that I'm doing is a post-war recipe, and it's called rasher pudding. Now, a lot of you will turn around and go, rasher. In fact, I spoke to some people at work and I said, oh, do you know what rasher pudding is? Half of them said yes, they did. The other half was like, I've absolutely no idea. So you might know it as bacon and onion roly-poly pudding, but the war recipe was rasher pudding, and it was called rasher pudding because everybody was on rations after the war and during the war, and you used to be able to get the offcuts of bacon. So bacon used to come not ready packaged in plastic things, but it came in a big sort of lump of bacon, and you had a machine at the butcher's, and they would turn the handle on the machine, and it would cut the bacon into very thin slices. Now obviously the bit at the front and the bit at the end were the pieces that they would sell off cheaply, because they were sort of the beginning bit, so they weren't a whole slice. So those used to be bought quite cheaply for rasher pudding, and it's a delicious recipe. I absolutely love it in the winter because it's a real winter warmer. So have a look at that one. That's going to be on our Foodie Friday, as always. And then the other one is going to be, as I said, just a food haul on Wednesday. It was something I did on Sunday, but I'm going to do it on Wednesday because I wanted to add something else in there as well. So have a look out for that. And then I forgot to do it last week because we were talking so much that I didn't do it. But I wanted to give a big thank you to everybody that has left, or the majority. I don't say everybody because sometimes I do forget people, and it's not on purpose. It's just purely that sometimes when I look to see for comments, I don't get all of the comments that come up for me to write them down. But this week we have Tanya, as always. Thank you so much. She comments every time, which is great. Sue from work, absolutely love you, Sue. Thank you so much. She joined this week, and she has commented and commented and commented, and I so appreciate it. So thank you so much, Sue, and look forward to seeing you on Friday. Suzanne, another local lady who works in one of the beautiful fashion boutiques in town. And thank you very much, Suzanne, really appreciate it. Thank you for your comments, thank you for subscribing. A lady called Mrs. A, first time she's made a comment. Lovely, thank you very much. Hope you will continue commenting, hope you have subscribed, and very appreciative. Anne again, Anne, our local lady who I met through my work, who again has been commenting, lives locally, and we were discussing on her comments, we're discussing the shopping thing of she shops one end of the town, I shop the other end of the town, because that happens to be where we live, and we tend to go to the shops that are the closest. Then Judy, lovely Judy, again is comments often, and really appreciative of that. Really lovely lady, and has been a subscriber for probably almost since the beginning, a long time, so that's great. And another new lady who left a comment, which was great, is a lady called Emma. So thank you very much, Emma, much appreciated. And just as a last thing, and I don't often say this, it does make a huge difference for me and my videos getting out and being seen by a wider audience if you subscribe, if you're watching it. So I don't know whether any of the people that'll be watching it just for a few minutes or so will have got this far, but if you have, I would really appreciate it if you subscribed. If you could just leave a comment as well, because I do try and reply. Well, in fact, I reply to virtually every comment that comes, and I have some lovely comments. And as I always say in all my videos, to be kind. I get lovely comments. I've never had any nasty comments. I've occasionally had a comment about sound. I don't have microphones and things like that. I just have my normal sound, and my voice isn't that loud. I try and talk up, but it's not that loud. But you do have a volume button on most of your machines and phones and televisions and things like that. So you can always turn the sound up a bit if you want to. If you don't like me rabbiting on for ages and ages and ages, you can go through, fast forward it, you can speed it up. I'm just me, and I do the way I like doing, and that's just sitting there, chatting, talking to you, being as positive and as upbeat as I can, because that's me. I'm somebody, my glass is always half full rather than half empty. You don't want to be sitting hearing doom and gloom and misery and things like that. And that's not me anyway. Anybody that knows me will know that I'm a really positive person. So on that positive note, as always, please stay safe and well. Please be kind and look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye bye.